Most people think wealth is about luck or intelligence. Billionaires know it starts in the mind. Your thoughts shape your actions, which shape your results. The first step is recognizing that your current mindset may be limiting you without realizing it. Are you focused on scarcity or abundance? On fear or opportunity? A mental rewire begins by consciously noticing your thought patterns, challenging them, and replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This shift isn't overnight, it's daily, deliberate, and consistent. Once your mind starts thinking like a billionaire, your choices, habits, and decisions automatically align with wealth creation, turning strategy into instinct. Scarcity thinkers see limitations everywhere, not enough money, time, or opportunity. Abundance thinkers see possibilities, every challenge is a chance to grow, every problem a potential profit. Billionaires operate from abundance, they don't hoard ideas, they share and multiply them. They invest in themselves, their networks, and their vision without fear. Rewiring your mind requires noticing when scarcity thoughts arise, questioning them, and choosing abundance instead. The moment you see life as full of opportunities rather than obstacles, you start making decisions that compound wealth over time. Scarcity keeps you small, abundance opens doors you didn't even know existed. Your beliefs shape your reality. If you believe wealth is only for lucky people, your actions will unconsciously sabotage your success. Billionaires cultivate belief in themselves, their ideas, and their ability to overcome obstacles. Rewiring your mind means replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones, like I can learn anything. I can create value, or I can earn and multiply money. Belief fuels persistence, and persistence compounds results. The difference between someone who dreams and someone who achieves often lies in what they believe is possible. Start asking yourself, do I believe I can create extraordinary wealth, or do I unconsciously limit myself to mediocrity? Billionaires often visualize outcomes before they happen. They mentally rehearse decisions, negotiations, and opportunities. Visualization strengthens neural pathways, making success feel familiar before it manifests. Your brain cannot easily distinguish vivid imagined success from real action, it prepares your mind to act confidently. Rewiring your mind involves daily visualization. Imagine achieving your financial goals, making strategic choices, and navigating challenges successfully. Over time, this primes your mind to recognize opportunities, take decisive action, and persist through obstacles. Mental rehearsal bridges imagination and reality, training your subconscious to operate like a billionaire's brain. Most people fear risk and avoid it, staying trapped in comfort zones. Billionaires see risk differently, they calculate it, manage it, and act decisively. Rewiring your mind requires understanding that risk is not inherently bad, stagnation is the true danger. Learn to weigh probabilities, prepare for failure, and take informed leaps. Each calculated risk compounds opportunity and builds resilience. Fear will always appear, but the mind of a billionaire uses it as data, not as a stop sign. By reframing risk as a tool rather than a threat, your choices align with growth, and your wealth potential expands exponentially. Billionaires start their day intentionally. Your morning routine sets the tone for productivity, focus, and mindset. Meditation, journaling, exercise, planning, and visualization prime the brain to think strategically. Rewiring your mind involves structuring mornings to maximize mental clarity and energy. The first hours are your leverage, they dictate the quality of every decision that follows. Poor mindsets drift in chaos, billionaire mindsets design rituals that reinforce discipline, clarity, and abundance. The secret isn't in complexity, it's in consistent action that primes your mind for wealth every day, creating a compounding advantage over time. Billionaires know wealth multiplies through relationships. They network not to collect contacts but to exchange value, ideas, and opportunities. Rewiring your mind requires seeing people as potential collaborators, not competitors. Every conversation can unlock new pathways if approached with curiosity, generosity, and strategy. Poor mindsets see networking as shallow or transactional, rich mindsets see it as exponential leverage. Surrounding yourself with ambitious, skilled, and growth-oriented individuals rewires your thinking, exposing you to new ideas, perspectives, and opportunities you wouldn't discover alone. Your network becomes your net worth, literally and psychologically. Billionaires never stop learning. Schools teach knowledge, wealth requires applied learning. Rewiring your mind means prioritizing self-education, reading, mentorships, online courses, and practical experimentation. The key is not volume but relevance. Study 1 accelerates your decision-making, investment skills, and value creation. Poor mindsets avoid learning unless required, rich mindsets learn daily, seeing every insight as a lever for future wealth. Over time, knowledge compounds like money. One idea leads to another, one skill opens multiple doors. If your brain is your most valuable asset, treat it like a high-yield investment and continually grow it. Billionaires never stop learning. Schools teach knowledge, wealth requires applied learning. Rewiring your mind means prioritizing self-education, reading, mentorships, online courses, and practical experimentation. The key is not volume but relevance. Study 1 accelerates your decision-making, investment skills, and value creation. Poor mindsets avoid learning unless required, rich mindsets learn daily, seeing every insight as a lever for future wealth. Over time, knowledge compounds like money. One idea leads to another, one skill opens multiple doors. If your brain is your most valuable asset, treat it like a high-yield investment and continually grow it. Billionaires leverage small, consistent habits to create enormous results. Rewiring your mind requires stacking productive behaviors, reading, saving, exercising, reflecting, and planning daily. These micro-actions compound over time, building mental discipline and financial outcomes simultaneously. Poor mindsets rely on motivation, rich mindsets rely on structured habits. The key is repetition, performing the right actions daily until they become automatic. Over years, tiny habits produce extraordinary leverage, creating wealth far beyond what effort alone could achieve. Wealth is often the byproduct of disciplined, incremental improvement rather than sudden brilliance. Billionaires think in decades, not months. Rewiring your mind requires adopting a long-term perspective. Decisions today compound over years into extraordinary results. Poor mindsets prioritize instant gratification, chasing temporary pleasure. Rich mindsets delay short-term rewards to capture massive long-term gains. Every choice is measured against a 5, 10, or 20-year horizon. This lens changes spending, investing, learning, and networking decisions. The longer your horizon, the more powerful your compounding advantage becomes. Wealth isn't about getting rich quickly, it's about thinking far ahead, staying consistent, and letting time multiply your disciplined actions. Billionaires master emotions, knowing that impulsive decisions destroy wealth. Rewiring your mind means separating emotional reactions from rational choices. When markets crash, or opportunities arise, the wealthy respond strategically, not emotionally. Poor mindsets panic, overspend, or freeze. Rich mindsets observe, analyze, and act calmly. Emotional mastery allows you to see patterns others miss, take calculated risks, and make high-leverage decisions. The brain is like a muscle, training emotional control strengthens it, letting you respond to chaos with clarity, resilience, and opportunity. Billionaires know focus is more valuable than time. Rewiring your mind requires eliminating distractions, concentrating on high-impact tasks, and saying no to low-leverage activities. Poor mindsets multitask endlessly, diluting effort and results. Rich mindsets apply laser-focused energy where it counts. 1 hour of focused work can outweigh 8 hours of scattered effort. Focus magnifies results, accelerates learning, and compounds value creation. Training your mind to prioritize impact over busyness is a hallmark of billionaire thinking. Billionaires embrace feedback, learning faster than everyone else. Rewiring your mind means seeking constructive criticism, analyzing failures, and adjusting continuously. Poor mindsets avoid critique, fearing ego damage. Rich mindsets see feedback as free data, accelerating growth and wealth accumulation. The loop is simple: act, reflect, adjust, repeat. The faster you iterate, the sooner you discover what works and what doesn't. Growth compounds like money when feedback is applied consistently. Embrace the loop, and your results will compound exponentially over time. Billionaires carefully choose their circle. Rewiring your mind requires distancing from negative, stagnant, or jealous influences and surrounding yourself with ambitious, knowledgeable, and motivated people. Energy, ideas, and mindset are contagious. Poor mindsets allow their environment to dictate their thinking. Rich mindsets cultivate their environment to amplify growth. Every conversation, connection, and exposure should elevate your thinking. When you surround yourself with winners, your brain starts adapting to their habits, perspectives, and strategies. The network becomes your mental accelerator. Billionaires view failure as information, not shame. Rewiring your mind requires seeing each setback as feedback. Every failed project, missed opportunity, or mistake is a lesson if analyzed correctly. Poor mindsets fear failure, avoiding risks that could lead to growth. Rich mindsets embrace it, extract lessons, and adjust strategies. This approach transforms loss into learning and fear into opportunity. By reframing failure as data, your brain naturally seeks improvement rather than avoidance. Over time, this mental habit compounds, giving you an advantage others can't replicate. The mind of a billionaire treats failure as a stepping stone, not a wall. Billionaires think in systems, not one-off actions. Rewiring your mind involves seeing how decisions, habits, and investments interact over time. Poor mindsets focus on isolated wins, rich mindsets optimize processes for compound results. Every habit, every decision, and every relationship is a component in a system that builds wealth. Systematic thinking transforms small daily actions into monumental outcomes. It's not luck, it's design. By visualizing and improving the interconnected parts of your life and finances, you gain leverage. Systems allow your wealth to grow independently of your constant effort. The mind shift is clear: build systems, not just actions. Billionaires are voracious readers. Rewiring your mind requires daily learning from books, articles, and case studies. Poor mindsets think reading is optional, rich mindsets see it as essential. Knowledge compounds like money, one idea leads to another, creating opportunities invisible to the uneducated eye. Reading builds strategic thinking, financial literacy, and creativity. Even 20 minutes a day adds up to years of learning over time. To think like a billionaire, consume ideas actively, take notes, and apply insights immediately. Your brain becomes a library of high-value strategies, giving you an edge over those who rely solely on experience. Billionaires delay pleasure to secure long-term wealth. Rewiring your mind requires resisting impulses for instant gratification. Poor mindsets spend now and hope for more later. Rich mindsets invest, save, and build assets first, knowing freedom comes later. Each sacrifice today multiplies tomorrow. This mental discipline is a superpower. Delayed gratification compounds into exponential results over years. The brain rewired for patience recognizes that small, disciplined choices lead to enormous rewards. Freedom and wealth are rarely immediate, they're the product of consistency, focus, and strategic deferral of pleasure. Billionaires create value, not just earn money. Rewiring your mind involves shifting from "how do I get paid?" to "how do I solve problems?" Money follows solutions, not effort alone. Poor mindsets chase wages, rich mindsets chase impact. When you focus on creating value for others, wealth becomes a natural byproduct. Every skill, insight, and action becomes a lever for compounding returns. By prioritizing value creation, your decisions shift from short-term gain to long-term influence, establishing streams of income that grow without direct effort. The brain rewired to seek value sees opportunities everywhere others see obstacles. Billionaires view calculated risk as a doorway to growth. Rewiring your mind requires recognizing risk as opportunity, not danger. Poor mindsets avoid risk, fearing loss. Rich mindsets analyze, prepare, and act decisively, turning uncertainty into advantage. Each risk becomes a test of strategy and resilience. When you start seeing risk as a tool rather than a threat, your decision-making evolves. The brain conditioned for opportunity notices trends, gaps, and inefficiencies that others ignore. Wealth grows where fear paralyzes. Retraining your mind to step forward transforms risk from a roadblock into a multiplier for success. Billionaires mentally rehearse success before it happens. Rewiring your mind involves vividly imagining your goals and desired outcomes daily. Visualization programs your brain to act in alignment with success. Poor mindsets underestimate this, rich mindsets use it strategically. By picturing financial milestones, investments, and business victories, your subconscious begins seeking these opportunities in reality. Visualization strengthens confidence, reduces hesitation, and primes action. Over time, your decisions align with the mental images you create. The mind becomes a magnet for wealth when it is consistently fed clear, vivid visions of success. Billionaires curate their environment. Rewiring your mind requires choosing mentors, peers, and colleagues who elevate your thinking. Poor mindsets allow negative or stagnant influences, rich mindsets actively seek high performers to learn from. Energy, knowledge, and habits are contagious. Exposure to ambitious, disciplined, and intelligent individuals rewires your own thinking and decision-making patterns. The network becomes a feedback loop for growth and opportunity. Surrounding yourself with high performers accelerates your mental development, exposes you to new strategies, and conditions your brain for wealth creation. Your environment literally shapes your mind's potential for success. Billionaires maximize leverage, capital, systems, and people amplify results far beyond individual effort. Rewiring your mind means focusing on high-leverage actions rather than hard work alone. Poor mindsets trade hours for dollars, rich mindsets create structures where time multiplies wealth. Systems, technology, and networks work continuously, freeing your mind to focus on strategic decisions. Leverage transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. Once your brain adapts to think in leverage, your approach to work, investments, and relationships changes completely. It's not about doing more, it's about multiplying the impact of what you do. Billionaires apply mental models to navigate complexity. Rewiring your mind involves learning frameworks for analyzing problems, evaluating risks, and predicting outcomes. Poor mindsets react emotionally, rich mindsets think structurally. Mental models simplify chaos, allowing strategic decisions and efficient problem solving. Concepts like opportunity cost, first principles thinking, and probabilistic reasoning sharpen choices. By internalizing models, you see patterns invisible to others, making faster and better financial decisions. Wealth grows when your mind applies proven frameworks consistently. The brain of a billionaire becomes a decision-making engine, translating insight into action seamlessly. Billionaires delay gratification for compounding rewards. Rewiring your mind means choosing long-term benefit over short-term pleasure. Poor mindsets indulge impulses, rich mindsets invest, save, and prioritize outcomes. Each small delay trains patience, builds discipline, and multiplies wealth potential. The brain conditioned for delayed reward ignores fleeting temptations and focuses on high-impact actions. Financial freedom is rarely instant, it requires consistent choices that favor growth, assets, and learning over consumption. By delaying gratification, your mind rewires itself to prioritize strategic gains, creating a psychological edge that accelerates wealth accumulation over time. Billionaires never stop learning. Rewiring your mind requires curiosity, reading, skill acquisition, and mentorship. Poor mindsets settle, rich mindsets iterate. Every lesson compounds, creating insight, foresight, and strategic advantage. Learning is a multiplier, it improves decision-making, reduces mistakes, and uncovers opportunities. Knowledge becomes a mental asset, appreciating over time like money. By internalizing continuous learning as a habit, your brain adapts to see patterns, anticipate trends, and act decisively. Wealth grows in proportion to what you know and how you apply it consistently. Billionaires treat time as their most valuable resource. Rewiring your mind means prioritizing high-leverage activities and minimizing wasted time. Poor mindsets allow distractions, rich mindsets structure days around meaningful action. Each hour invested in learning, networking, or creating assets yields exponential returns. Time optimization isn't just productivity, it's mental conditioning. Your brain begins to value every minute strategically, eliminating trivial tasks and maximizing decision-making potential. By mastering your time, you compound results faster than anyone working randomly or reactively. Wealth is often a byproduct of consistent, focused allocation of time over years. Billionaires anticipate market shifts in human behavior. Rewiring your mind involves observing patterns, motivations, and trends before they manifest. Poor mindsets react, rich mindsets predict and act proactively. Understanding psychology, economics, and technology allows early moves that others miss. Your brain becomes a radar for opportunity, sensing subtle signals, analyzing data, and forecasting profitable actions. Anticipating change rather than reacting ensures leverage, advantage, and growth. By training perception, your mind adapts to navigate uncertainty, spot opportunities, and take strategic action ahead of the crowd. Billionaires cultivate a grand vision. Rewiring your mind requires clarity of purpose, defining long-term goals, values, and impact. Poor mindsets drift aimlessly, rich mindsets navigate life with intentional direction. A clear vision guides decisions, aligns actions, and attracts resources. Your brain begins filtering distractions, prioritizing opportunities, and seeing pathways others overlook. Vision fuels persistence, motivation, and resilience, allowing sustained effort through challenges. Thinking like a billionaire means your mind consistently projects forward, aligning your daily choices with an overarching goal that multiplies wealth, influence, and freedom over decades. Billionaires take full responsibility for their actions and outcomes. Rewiring your mind requires embracing accountability rather than blaming circumstances or others. Poor mindsets make excuses, rich mindsets analyze failures, learn lessons, and adjust strategies. Accountability rewires your brain to seek solutions, not escape. It fosters discipline, strategic thinking, and resilience. By owning both success and failure, your decisions become deliberate and aligned with long-term wealth creation. Your mind stops seeking comfort and starts seeking growth, allowing opportunities and strategies to compound over time. Accountability transforms obstacles into stepping stones and positions you in control of your financial destiny. Billionaires focus on systems, not just goals. Rewiring your mind involves creating processes that naturally produce desired outcomes. Poor mindsets obsess over outcomes without building structure. Rich mindsets design habits, workflows, and routines that lead to success. Systems automate progress, reduce stress, and allow compounding of results over time. Goals are temporary, systems are permanent. By thinking systemically, your brain shifts from chasing results to cultivating continuous improvement. Wealth multiplies when your actions are organized, intentional, and repeatable, creating a framework that consistently delivers advantage. Billionaires thrive under pressure. Rewiring your mind requires mental resilience, the ability to adapt, persist, and overcome setbacks. Poor mindsets crumble under stress, rich mindsets use it as fuel. By strengthening your mental endurance, your brain responds to challenges strategically rather than emotionally. Resilience allows you to navigate financial uncertainty, market volatility, and personal setbacks without losing direction. Over time, repeated practice of resilience compounds confidence, clarity, and strategic thinking. A mind trained in endurance sees opportunity where others see threat, giving you a long-term edge in wealth accumulation. Billionaires harness emotional intelligence to make better decisions. Rewiring your mind involves recognizing, understanding, and managing emotions, both your own and others. Poor mindsets let emotions cloud judgment, rich mindsets navigate them strategically. High emotional intelligence improves negotiation, leadership, and relationships, directly impacting wealth creation. By understanding motivations and responses, your brain learns to act decisively and tactically. Emotional mastery ensures that opportunities aren't lost to impulsive decisions, fear, or ego. The mind of a billionaire combines logic, empathy, and intuition to make powerful choices that compound over time. Billionaires don't rely on a single source of income. Rewiring your mind means thinking beyond wages to assets, investments, and businesses. Poor mindsets depend solely on a paycheck, rich mindsets build multiple streams that compound wealth. Diversification reduces risk and accelerates growth. By consistently adding streams, stocks, real estate, digital assets, or intellectual property, your brain internalizes the principle of leverage. Over time, income grows passively, freeing your mind to focus on strategy, learning, and high-leverage decisions. Thinking like a billionaire involves designing a financial ecosystem where money works for you, not the other way around. Billionaires practice strategic patience. Rewiring your mind involves understanding when to act immediately and when to wait. Poor mindsets rush decisions or act impulsively, rich mindsets observe, analyze, and wait for the right moment. Patience compounds returns, prevents mistakes, and maximizes opportunities. It trains the brain to prioritize timing over impulse, long-term gains over instant gratification. Strategic patience allows your actions to align with both intelligence and opportunity, producing results that appear effortless. The mind of a billionaire balances urgency with discipline, seizing opportunities precisely when leverage is highest. Billionaires use the Pareto principle: 80% of results come from 20% of actions. Rewiring your mind means identifying high-leverage tasks and focusing relentlessly on them. Poor mindsets dilute effort, rich mindsets prioritize strategically. By constantly asking, which actions produce the most impact, your brain learns to conserve energy and amplify results. Applying the 80-20 rule to investments, business decisions, and habits compounds advantage over time. The mind conditioned for leverage automatically filters noise, seeking the most productive paths to success. Billionaires never stop learning. Rewiring your mind involves dedicating daily time to reading, studying trends, and gaining new skills. Poor mindsets treat education as finite, rich mindsets treat knowledge as a continuous compounding asset. Each insight compounds your ability to see opportunity, make informed decisions, and avoid mistakes. Knowledge acquisition rewires the brain to identify patterns, evaluate risks, and act decisively. Over time, the mind trained in continuous learning gains an exponential advantage over peers who rely solely on experience. Billionaires focus inward rather than comparing themselves to others. Rewiring your mind means avoiding envy, jealousy, and distraction from other people's success. Poor mindsets measure worth against peers, rich mindsets measure progress against goals and growth. Comparison wastes energy and fosters scarcity thinking. By training your brain to value personal progress, effort, and learning, you maintain clarity and focus. Wealth is rarely about competition, it's about compounding your unique advantages over time. The mind of a billionaire sees others' success as inspiration and opportunity, not threat. Billionaires track key metrics in business, investments, and personal growth. Rewiring your mind involves measuring progress, analyzing data, and adjusting actions accordingly. Poor mindsets act without feedback, rich mindsets quantify results, learn patterns, and optimize outcomes. Metrics allow your brain to recognize what works, discard what doesn't, and compound success systematically. This discipline transforms intuition into evidence-based decision-making. Tracking progress rewires your brain to focus on high-leverage actions, ensuring consistent improvement and wealth growth over time. Billionaires make decisions decades in advance. Rewiring your mind means evaluating actions not just for immediate reward but long-term compounding. Poor mindsets chase instant gratification, rich mindsets delay reward for exponential outcomes. Every decision, spending, investing, learning, or networking, becomes a lever for future advantage. By consistently thinking long-term, your brain prioritizes strategy over impulse, planning over reaction. Wealth accumulates where patience, foresight, and consistent action intersect. The mind trained in long-term thinking anticipates opportunity, mitigates risk, and multiplies outcomes beyond ordinary imagination. Billionaires seek mentors relentlessly. Rewiring your mind involves recognizing that others' experience accelerates your learning curve. Poor mindsets avoid mentorship due to pride or fear, rich mindsets actively seek guidance and apply it. A mentor's insights prevent mistakes, open doors, and reveal opportunities. The brain internalizes strategies from those who have already succeeded, allowing you to leverage experience without trial and error. Mentorship rewires thinking patterns, instills confidence, and exposes blind spots that limit wealth creation. Surrounding yourself with wisdom compounds advantage exponentially. Billionaires leverage the compounding effect in finance, relationships, and habits. Rewiring your mind means understanding that small, consistent actions multiply over time. Poor mindsets seek instant results, rich mindsets execute daily, knowing incremental progress accumulates exponentially. Compounding isn't just financial, it applies to learning, influence, and skills. Your brain learns to value persistence, repetition, and strategic patience. Each positive action strengthens mental pathways, making future success more likely. Compounding rewires your mind to see long-term accumulation as the most powerful driver of wealth. Billionaires cultivate optimism grounded in realism. Rewiring your mind requires hope, vision, and expectation of success, tempered by an understanding of risks. Poor mindsets are either cynical or blindly hopeful, rich mindsets combine positivity with strategic preparation. Optimism motivates action, resilience, and creativity. Realism ensures resources, plans, and contingency measures are in place. This mindset rewires your brain to approach challenges with proactive energy rather than fear, maintaining clarity and focus in the pursuit of wealth. Optimism with realism aligns your vision with practical execution, allowing calculated risk-taking that compounds success. Billionaires make wealth building habitual. Rewiring your mind involves embedding behaviors, saving, investing, learning, networking, until they become automatic. Poor mindsets rely on motivation, rich mindsets rely on systems and habits. Habits bypass mental friction, creating automatic progress toward financial goals. The brain internalizes success patterns, reducing reliance on decision-making energy. By reinforcing daily behaviors aligned with wealth, you build an unconscious machine that continually multiplies resources and skills. Consistency over time compounds into extraordinary results, ensuring that your mental wiring supports wealth even when you aren't consciously thinking about it. Billionaires intentionally build powerful networks. Rewiring your mind involves connecting with individuals who challenge, inspire, and elevate you. Poor mindsets rely on chance interactions, rich mindsets cultivate relationships strategically. Each connection becomes a bridge to knowledge, resources, and opportunities. Your brain begins to value influence over superficial interactions, prioritizing depth and mutual growth. Strategic networking compounds opportunities, providing access to ideas, deals, and collaborations that accelerate wealth creation. The mind rewired for networking recognizes potential in relationships before others do, turning social capital into tangible financial advantage. Billionaires use journaling to clarify thoughts, track progress, and refine strategies. Rewiring your mind involves recording ideas, decisions, and reflections daily. Poor mindsets ignore self-analysis, rich mindsets use it as a tool for insight and growth. Journaling trains the brain to spot patterns, correct errors, and plan actions effectively. By reflecting consistently, your mental processes become sharper, your priorities clearer, and your decisions more deliberate. The mind rewired through journaling anticipates challenges, evaluates opportunities, and reinforces wealth-building habits automatically over time. Billionaires thrive on innovation. Rewiring your mind requires curiosity, experimentation, and openness to new ideas. Poor mindsets resist change, rich mindsets embrace it, turning uncertainty into advantage. Innovation rewires your brain to seek improvements, efficiencies, and breakthroughs in every sphere: business, technology, and personal growth. Each new solution compounds opportunity, positioning you ahead of competitors. Thinking like a billionaire means your mind consistently asks, "How can this be better?" and acts on answers, creating wealth from creativity and adaptability rather than mere effort. Billionaires execute relentlessly. Rewiring your mind involves committing to consistent daily action aligned with your long-term goals. Poor mindsets procrastinate or rely on bursts of motivation. Rich mindsets build systems that enforce discipline. Daily action compounds results, turning small wins into massive achievement. The brain internalizes momentum, reducing friction for future progress. Discipline ensures that ideas and strategies aren't wasted, transforming intention into tangible outcomes. By making progress non-negotiable, your mind develops resilience, focus, and a pattern of continuous growth, accelerating wealth creation beyond ordinary expectations. Billionaires master money language. Rewiring your mind requires understanding investments, taxes, assets, liabilities, and cash flow. Poor mindsets avoid financial education, rich mindsets study relentlessly. Financial literacy rewires your brain to spot opportunities, avoid pitfalls, and make strategic moves. Every decision, spending, investing, or negotiating, becomes informed, increasing leverage and reducing risk. Knowledge of money allows your brain to convert insights into action, creating a feedback loop that compounds wealth over time. Thinking like a billionaire means money works for you because your mind understands it, not because you chase it blindly. Billionaires reflect regularly. Rewiring your mind involves reviewing actions, outcomes, and lessons learned. Poor mindsets ignore reflection, repeating mistakes. Rich mindsets pause, analyze, and iterate. Reflection rewires your brain to anticipate pitfalls, refine strategies, and optimize future actions. By dedicating time to thoughtful evaluation, your decisions become sharper, more deliberate, and aligned with long-term objectives. Reflection compounds mental clarity and efficiency, turning experiences into assets. The mind trained in reflection sees every challenge as an opportunity to adapt and improve, accelerating wealth creation through insight rather than chance. Billionaires harness technology to amplify results. Rewiring your mind involves adopting tools, automation, and digital platforms strategically. Poor mindsets see tech as optional, rich mindsets use it to multiply productivity, reach, and efficiency. Technology transforms labor, time, and knowledge into scalable impact. Your brain begins prioritizing automation, delegation, and optimization, freeing energy for strategic decision-making. Leveraging technology compounds results faster than manual effort, turning ideas into high-value outcomes. Thinking like a billionaire means integrating innovation and tools to expand influence and generate wealth at scale. Billionaires protect their minds. Rewiring your brain requires avoiding negativity, toxic relationships, and pessimism. Poor mindsets absorb external doubt, rich mindsets filter influences carefully. Your environment and social inputs shape thinking patterns, habits, and decisions. Protecting mental energy allows focus, creativity, and strategic risk-taking. By consciously choosing positivity, mentorship, and constructive critique, your brain develops resilience and forward thinking. Negative influence shrinks vision, positive influence expands it. Wealth multiplies in minds shielded from destructive thinking and aligned with growth, opportunity, and knowledge. Billionaires view mistakes as assets. Rewiring your mind involves analyzing errors objectively and applying lessons immediately. Poor mindsets hide or regret mistakes, rich mindsets extract intelligence. Each misstep becomes data, refining decisions, strategies, and actions. The brain trained to learn from mistakes increases adaptability, reduces repetition, and accelerates growth. Wealth grows as failures transform into stepping stones. Thinking like a billionaire, your mind sees imperfection as feedback, not failure, compounding insight, resilience, and opportunity over time. Billionaires maximize strengths rather than dwell on weaknesses. Rewiring your mind involves identifying unique skills, talents, and advantages and amplifying them strategically. Poor mindsets scatter energy fixing flaws, rich mindsets leverage abilities to create outsized impact. Focusing on strengths compounds value, accelerates results, and boosts confidence. Your brain becomes conditioned to allocate effort where it yields maximum return. By optimizing natural advantages, wealth grows efficiently and consistently. Thinking like a billionaire means building influence, assets, and outcomes around your strongest capabilities. Billionaires practice gratitude to maintain perspective and motivation. Rewiring your mind involves recognizing progress, resources, and opportunities already present. Poor mindsets focus on scarcity, rich mindsets focus on abundance. Gratitude rewires the brain to see possibilities, reduce stress, and enhance decision-making. It strengthens resilience and mental clarity, allowing smarter, bolder moves. Appreciating growth reinforces positive habits and reinforces a mindset that attracts further opportunities. The mind trained in gratitude compounds wealth by fostering optimism, persistence, and alignment with high-value action. Billionaires delegate effectively. Rewiring your mind involves recognizing that wealth multiplies when capable people manage tasks efficiently. Poor mindsets micromanage, rich mindsets leverage others' skills and expertise. Delegation frees mental energy for high-impact decisions and strategic thinking. The brain conditioned to delegate prioritizes influence over effort, enabling compounding impact. By entrusting execution to skilled individuals or systems, your actions produce exponentially greater results. Delegation transforms effort into scalable output, accelerating wealth accumulation and strategic advantage. Billionaires maintain curiosity, constantly asking questions, exploring ideas, and seeking knowledge. Rewiring your mind involves approaching the world with wonder and analysis. Poor mindsets accept assumptions, rich mindsets investigate, experiment, and innovate. Curiosity rewires your brain to spot gaps, patterns, and opportunities others overlook. Each insight gain becomes a potential lever for wealth creation. By thinking like a lifelong learner, your mind develops adaptability, creativity, and foresight. Curiosity compounds intellectual capital, opening doors to strategic advantage, investments, and breakthroughs that accumulate wealth over time. Billionaires resist the herd. Rewiring your mind involves independent thinking and contrarian action. Poor mindsets follow trends blindly, rich mindsets evaluate, decide, and act based on insight and strategy. Herd mentality leads to missed opportunities and poor investments. By thinking differently, your brain identifies inefficiencies, emerging trends, and undervalued assets before the masses notice. Independent thought rewires perception, enabling decisive action with a margin of advantage. Wealth multiplies for those who dare to deviate intelligently from the crowd, leveraging overlooked opportunities. Billionaires think in terms of legacy. Rewiring your mind involves building wealth not just for personal gain, but for lasting impact. Poor mindsets focus on short-term pleasure, rich mindsets prioritize long-term influence, family, and community. A legacy mindset shapes decisions, investments, and actions to compound impact over generations. Your brain prioritizes sustainable wealth, strategic relationships, and enduring contribution. By thinking beyond yourself, wealth becomes purpose-driven, multiplying both materially and socially. The mind of a billionaire integrates vision, discipline, and strategy, ensuring success benefits not only today, but decades to come.